Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is John J. Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the Earlham Teambuilder Dynasty here on NCAA 14, featuring that college football revamp, of course. This time around, man, we have our second game of the season. We go on the road to play against the Bluffton Beavers. Lee Corso is going to go ahead and rock with us for today's game, man, but you know, even though this is a team that we've played multiple times before in the past, that being said, though, this game hits a little bit differently, and I'll tell you why. So if you guys went ahead and remember Dusty Concepcion, he was actually our offensive coordinator last season, but he is now the head coach, or actually, yeah, defensive coordinator for us last year. But yeah, he's the head coach now for the Bluffton Beavers, and they're off to a nice little start, man. 1-0. This will be a maybe a revenge game for Dusty Concepcion, you know, playing against his former staff for the very first time since he left for the head coaching opportunity. But that being said, man, I absolutely cannot wait to go ahead and get things going. It should be a good one, so make sure you smash that like button as well as hit subscribe if you have to be brand new. Let's go ahead and get into today's game between your Earlham Quakers and the Bluffton Beavers. Alright, man, so with all that being said, you know, let's go ahead, you know, give our former defensive coordinator, you know, a little dose of reality, you know. But, you know, as of right now, you know, things have been pretty tight, you know, going in, you know, midway through the first quarter, you know. Nobody has scored just yet, but I feel really good, you know, about, you know, where we're at right now, just because we are winning the field position game as of right now. As Frank Bowers, he might go ahead and take advantage of it. He's going to make some guys miss, and he gets it all the way down inside the 30-yard line. That is something that we really needed right there. You know, there's been some lockdown defense on both sides of the football early in this game, and I mean, that's to be expected a little bit, you know, going up against our former defensive coordinator. He knows the personnel that are on this roster. So, I mean, gotta give him credit where credit is due. At least so far, he's doing a really good job preparing his guys. As we get to 2nd and 2 now, trying to throw to the right-hand side. Derek Bluvo making some guys miss and get it into the end zone. Touchdown, Earlham! And with 2:22 left in the first quarter, we do end up going ahead and giving ourselves an early 7-0 lead. As we do force a free out, you know, going back to work here once again, as Jeremy Sprinkle Jr. actually does go ahead and makes a man miss, a gain of 22 there. But will we stall out soon after, though? 3rd and 3 coming up, and, you know, Bluffton, you know, not allowing, you know, the long passes, but, you know, we're doing a really good job at, you know, exploiting that, you know, doing some quick out routes, in routes too on top of it, you know, so I'm not necessarily complaining. As Miami will throw to the right-hand side, he's going to get it out to Jakeem Short. He ends up picking up a gain of 11. As we got, you know, basically 3rd and goal here. I mean, like, the first down marker is, like, right on the goal line of Miami. No problem running it in himself either. Gets another touchdown. We're up 14-0. You know, starting to find our groove just a little bit. Something that I do really like to see. As, you know, we're putting Bluffton in a tough spot, man. You know, they played against Arizona. You know, this is a team that didn't allow a single touchdown in their opener, as we should have had that interception if only Frank Bowers was actually paying attention. That probably would have been potentially a pick 6. You know, he had some green space to work with if he could break the tackle that was right next to him, but I mean, it is what it is. They'll still have to punt the football back over to us, as Frank Bowers looks like he's going to do more than make up for it, as he only has the punter to beat. He beats him, and he's going to dive into the end zone. Touchdown, Earlham. Frank Bowers with a 67-yard punt return for a touchdown. You absolutely love to see it. And this lead for us just continues to grow a little bit bigger for us. Now up 21-0, but you know what? Our former conference opponent, they're not going to go down without a fight, at least not so easily. They do end up picking up a first down. That's been coming few and far between for them so far. As now 2nd and 13 coming up here. Fry going to drop back to pass as we get an interception. MJ Granson, couple plays later, forcing the first turnover on the day, as Granson was paying attention to the football and was able to at least return a few yards as well. And an offense that has already been rocking and rolling. Get some good field position to play with as well as we attack the outside. Get it out to Jakeem Short, who couldn't break the tackle but still makes the catch and picks up 15. As a few plays later now, got a 3rd and short coming up here. Miami in the shotgun. He's going to drop back. He's going to actually throw it to C.J. Holman, the check down option, who gets it into the end zone. Another touchdown for Earlham. And at this point, Bluffton just trying to get to the locker room with just a little bit of decency, because it has not been a good quarter for Bluffton whatsoever, man. It's just been exploding. 3 touchdowns on Bluffton here in this 2nd quarter, as it only gonna get worse for him as Justin Burden gets the interception. Couldn't stay in bounds after he made the catch, but what an athletic play. Rashad Fry, he was looking for 82 down the sideline. He overthrows him, and Justin Burden gonna make him pay for it, and we might potentially go ahead and make him pay for it here as well, as we still have 1:20 left to play here in this 2nd quarter. So definitely have at least one more possession that we can take our time with, depending on how we manage the clock. And we got a couple timeouts to work with as well, as we do another quick out route to Jakeem Short on the outside. They are just playing back on him. We'll go ahead and take those short routes if you're not going to, play up, play, to our level. As Jariah Bond makes a good catch as well. Nice throw by Miami. You'll get into some nice tight coverage. As now we got 2nd and inches coming up here a few plays later. Miami gets it into the end zone and finds Adam Hill the 3rd there once more. 11-yard touchdown grab. You'll love to see it, as it's been a dominating first half for us. We're up 38-0 on our former conference opponent, and that's why we left, man. It just wasn't too much of a challenge anymore. We got to go to better pastures. Matter of fact, depending on, what happens here is Greenwake, he's going to get an interception. He's going to go ahead and take this thing back too. This might be about the time we put in the backups. This is not worth our time, man. We're going to go ahead and just sim ourselves out of here. Because this really isn't worth our time whatsoever. They cannot hang with us. And even with, the backups being put in for essentially the entire 2nd half, we still end up beating these guys 65-0. We absolutely crushed them. And if we can play like this the whole season, man, watch out, because we are absolutely dangerous. So we end up beating these guys by a score of 65-0. We showed absolutely no mercy, even though, basically after Greenwake got the interception returned for a touchdown, we went ahead, we put in our 2nd string guys there for the most part, and it was just barbecue chicken from there, man. We destroyed them in the 2nd and 3rd quarter, 51-0 in those 2 quarters, and we just took care of business, man. Heck of a shutout. As we'll check stats for our guys real quick, CJ Patton, got a little bit of run, and he didn't look too bad either, man. 8 for 11, 179 yards. Miami Uiagalelei looked good as well, 20 for 27, 264, and 3 touchdowns on top of that. So you love to see that. For the run game, we had 3 different people get into the end zone, at least on the ground. Jesse Green had a touchdown, CJ Holman had a touchdown, and then Miami Uiagalelei also had a touchdown on the ground as well. Good overall day for Miami Uiagalelei. He ended up with 4 total TDs. Jariah Bond and Derek Blue also dominated, good receiving core, by the way. Jariah Bond, 6 catches, 152 yards, but did not find the end zone. Derek Blue found the end zone, though. He was actually our first scorer of the day. 6 catches for 103 yards. Adam Hill III also found the end zone. He had 3 catches for 35 yards. And then CJ Holman had 2 catches for 14 yards on top of it. For blocking, John Bird, really had himself kind of a breakout day. Ended up with 6 total pancakes. Lionel Williams was pretty solid too, 3 pancakes. Nate Coleman, though, struggled a little bit. He is an original walk-on who really molded himself into a decent football player, but he did allow 2 pancakes on the day. And then Ronaldo Booker, who is our true freshman, we didn't redshirt him because we need him for depth. He had multiple pancakes as well. Defensively, this team was just absolutely flying all over the place. Chris Ty actually led us in tackles today, and he had a really good day as well. 5 tackles, 3 TFLs, and a sack. Speaking of sacks, we actually did have quite a few sacks on the day, as we saw some names that I haven't really called too much here in this dynasty. St. Thomas, who is a freshman redshirt, he ends up getting a sack. Jamie Jenkins ends up getting a sack as well on top of it. And then, of course, Finn Otis, our returning All-American, he came in and had a sack. Didn't have to do much, only 2 tackles and a TFL. Another thing that we also did, had those 3 interceptions. We didn't have any more turnovers, I don't think, after, we went ahead and, got the second string guys in there. But the first string defense looked absolutely fantastic, though. RJ Greenlake had that interception that he was able to take to the crib. But also, Justin Burden and MJ Granson both had interceptions as well, and I absolutely love to see it. And how can I forget Frank Bowers too, by the way? He had a touchdown too on the day. 7 punt returns for 139 yards, including a 67-yard touchdown. He really, that play that Frank Bowers had really was what allowed us to really pull away, in that second quarter. But you would think that after the game that we just had and a strong finish that we had last season, that we would be in the top 25 at this point. But, I'm looking through the top 25 after we sim the next week. Keep in mind, we won 65-0, right? And, Bluffton's not a bad team whatsoever. But I'm not seeing us in the top 25. We are not in the top 25 yet. Granted, we are receiving votes. We're receiving 37 votes. So, we're in that top 30, to say the least. And if we do win our next game, we should be in the top 25. But not gonna lie, man, feeling a real disrespected by the nation, simply because, we won the Rose Bowl last year. Put some respect on our name, man. Come on. But you want to know somebody who isn't getting disrespected, though? Miami Uiagalelei, in his senior year, he does win Conference Player of the Week, in that 65-0 blowout. Keep in mind, Miami didn't even play in the second half, so he won 20 for 27, 264 yards through the air, 24 yards on the ground, 4 total touchdowns, and that was all in one half. We would have played him more if the game was closer, but I mean, it's gonna be a long football season, to say the least. Want to make sure guys are fresh, and whenever we have opportunities to, get the younger players, the backups in, get some experience for them, that's what I want to do, man. And, we're looking pretty good doing it in the process. It's only going up from here. One thing that we did manage to go ahead and get done is we also got our first commit of the season, Jeff Wheatley, who's a JUCO quarterback, 79 overall guy. We're going to take a look at his high school highlights later in this season, or not highlights, his JUCO highlights, later in the year. But, for the time being, he's going to be an Earlham commitment, and I am really excited to have this kid. We also have a ton of people visiting, so the next game that we're going to play, it's going to be really important that we go ahead and make sure we get the job done. Speaking of that next game, though, usually whenever we come across a bye week, want to go ahead and do like a Big Earl football podcast, but I was feeling really good, man, and I'll be feeling a little dirty, to be honest with you, if I left you with only a half of gameplay. But that being said, man, we're going to play in our very first American Conference game. We're going to take on the Memphis Tigers now. They have a simpler overall that, the Bluffton team that we went up against, in the earlier part of this episode. But I'm feeling really good, man. I feel like we can take care of business and potentially make a run so that we can finally get ourselves in the top 25. So, that being said, guys, if you're enjoying the content so far, man, smash that like button. And if you happen to be brand new as well and you're enjoying it on top of it, make sure you smash that subscribe button as well. It really helps the brother out. Anyways, let's go ahead and play these Memphis Tigers. Let's get it. So what's really nice about this conference opener is that, we get to start at home, so that's really nice to see, debuting in a new conference. We'll see what this Memphis team can do. Hopefully it's a little bit better than what we just had against Bluffton. Hopefully they gave us a little bit more of a challenge, but we'll just have to wait and see, as they did manage to pick up 1 first down. But then we sack him in the backfield. Elliott Manson, nowhere to go. MJ Granson just comes screaming up in there. And the thing about MJ, he was not blocked whatsoever. He was able to get in there and line him up like a Christmas tree. And so we get him to a 3rd and long now. 3rd and 17. As Manson will try to drop back once again. But this time, we make him fumble the football. And Chris Ty is able to recover the fumble. Wow, what a tandem that our defensive line has here, man. As Manson fumbles it to Finn Otis, and then Chris Ty comes in there because he also got loose and gives us great field position. The same team, by the way, that scored 65 points in the last game, now basically starting in the red zone. So that's really cool to see. I love to see that personally. As Miami takes us to, nice little 12-yard gain as we go ahead now. 3rd and goal, trying to get the first points of this ball game as Holman breaks a tackle and gets it into the end zone. Touchdown, Earlham. Let's go, man. That's how we want to start these games. You'll love to see it. As now we force Memphis to go ahead and go 3 and out on us. So, we get the football once again. Jariah Bond takes the jet sweep, and it's not pretty. First carry of the day, but does manage to pick up 2 yards, though. As we do get a 1st and 10 to work with once again. So we'll throw over the middle, and I'll get to Jake Elliott, who's lit up, but somehow manages to hold on and make that catch for us. So a 1st down for the Quakers. As we're driving downfield once again is Miami. Looking to scramble, tries to get out to CJ Holman. Was facing some unexpected pressure from that right-hand side. But now facing 3rd and long, Coach wants to run for it, we'll see what we can do with it. They weren't expecting it, though, as we break a tackle, and CJ Holman actually gets us across the 1st down marker, man. We needed 13 yards. We ended up getting 13 yards. And our drive will still continue because of that. As we get out to Jariah Bond once again, he breaks another tackle and gets us inside the 5-yard line. As we got a 1st and goal to work with here as Miami drops back. He's looking around, going to go ahead, just run into the end zone. He's got the blockers. Another touchdown for the Earlham Quakers. This time, Miami Ugalye wearing number 1 and gets his 1st touchdown of the day as well. As we go over to the 2nd quarter now, still holding on to that 14-0 lead. As Miami, he might be trying to get loose here. He's going to take it out of bounds, but a 29-yard run for Miami Ugalye, who's going off on the ground a little bit. Only 5 carries, but already 57 yards and a tub. But we can do it with the arm as well. Throwing over the middle to Jakeem Short, who nearly gets us in the end zone himself. A 12-yard gain gets us inside the 5-yard line, though. As we'll try to run another play-action power play. See if Miami can run it in himself again, or just flip it over to the sophomore tight end, Robert Price Jr. Just a easy throwing lane to get it into, and that's an easy touchdown for us here again. So looking a little bit similar to how it went down against Bluffton, earlier in this episode. We're up 21-0 here early in the 2nd quarter. As what are they trying to do, man? Why are they trying to run the halfback draw on a 3rd and long? Our defense is simply too good for that. You cannot pull that on us. That's just how it is. You can't do it. Because of that stupid play call, they put it back in the hands of Frank Bowers, who's going to take it down the sideline. One man left to beat, couldn't get around that corner, but still a nice 20-yard return. And once again, we start on their side of the football here. 3rd and short coming up as Miami, we're going to drop back, but Jakeem Short, wide butt naked open, just easy 1st down, easy throw for Miami. And he ends up picking up 15 yards too on top of it. As a couple plays later now, 2nd and 4 coming up. Here is Miami taking it with the read option. It just is way too easy. We are just making it look so easy, making it look so effortless. That's something that I really, and I mean really, like to see, man. And we're up 28, but Memphis does get a field goal on their next possession, which, that's cute. First time in 2 games that someone has actually scored on us. But, if you're going to score on us, you're going to kick the ball off to Justin Burden, we're going to make you pay for it, man. Straight up and down, as Uncle Sam's Rejects would always say, as Justin Burden returns it 105 yards into the end zone. And it's looking like another route here, too. Justin Burden also setting a new NCAA record for the longest kick return for a touchdown, as we're going to end up going up 35-3. So you'll love to absolutely see another dominating performance. We are really going out there and just dominating the field, man. We are sending the rest of the conference a serious message to not fuck with us, man. Like, this team, is coming out for blood, and the fact that we still aren't ranked at this point, it's criminal what they're doing to us right now, because, we definitely look like a top 25 team. Now, as far as how far I think we'll actually make it, I don't know, man. We'll just have to wait and see. The American Conference does get screwed over by the playoff committee in the past, but, that being said, you can't tell us that this is not a really talented football team, especially what we've been doing to start off the season, too. Blowing out Oklahoma State on top of it. We got another 1st and 10 to work with right here. This is a more methodical drive. Just trying to get a little bit more time off the clock, Jesse Green, his first carry today, he actually takes it 12 yards. As we go a few plays later now, 3rd and short coming up for us here, as Miami throws over the middle, gets it to Robert Price Jr., who can't, muscle himself into the end zone. But that being said, 2nd catch of the day almost leads to his 2nd touchdown. But very least, though, 3rd and goal, get it into Jesse Green, the backup tailback, and he gets ourselves another score yet again, and it just leads to another blowout, man. We end up getting, basically the backups in, in the 4th quarter, I believe, and we win this one by a final score of 52-10, man. Nice way to start off, our conference debut. Let's go ahead and check out the stats for our guys, though. So it wasn't as dominant of a game as, the earlier part, the Bluffton game that we had, previously in this episode. We only win by a score of 52-10, and we even allowed a touchdown in this game in the 4th quarter. I hate those garbage time scores, but we did have our 2nd team offense and our 2nd team defense in for the 4th quarter and a little bit of the 3rd quarter as well, so I guess I can excuse it, but still a really good win for our guys either way. Checking out the stats here in the Memphis matchup that we just had. Miami, he didn't even have to throw the football all that much. Only 15 for 18, 109 yards, and a touchdown. He was, efficient, doing a good job completing passes. CJ Patton, once again, not looking too shabby himself. He ends up 4 for 6 for 23 yards. For the run game, we actually found the end zone 5 times on the ground. Jesse Green ended up with multiple touchdowns. He had 10 carries for 50 yards. And then Miami Ugalye, he actually ended up almost with 100 yards on the ground himself. Did that off of 8 carries and then found the end zone twice. On top of that, CJ Holman, who actually had the most carries for us here today, ended up with 12 carries for 68 yards and a touchdown here as well. For the receivers, though, we only had 15 receptions, among everybody. We did have 2 drops. So Miami could have been 17 for 18 now that I think about it. But Troy Bond led the team in catches and in yards as well. He ended up with 5 catches for 40 yards. Again, not a big day for our receiving core, but Robert Price Jr. did find a way to get into the end zone, though. He had 2 catches for 9 yards. As for the defense, once again, it was simply just flying around. We ended up, Justin Burden led the team in tackles today. He ended up with 6 tackles on the day with a TFL. Also had a couple of pass deflections, could not, get an interception from him. But that being said, we did have 3 sacks. Finn Otis managed to get a sack. Ian Levine and MJ Granson managed to get a sack as well. Finn Otis actually forced a fumble on top of that, and then I believe Chris Ty was the one who ended up, recovering that fumble. That set up our first touchdown drive. He also ended up with 2 tackles on the day. And then on top of that as well, RJ Greenwake had an interception. He guess he came into the game in the 4th quarter for whatever reason. He did end up with an interception, but he also had 4 tackles on the day as well. Good game once again for our defense. If we can play like this for the entire season, watch out, America. This is going to be a tough team to beat. So not only are we looking really good on the football field, but on top of that, our recruiting class is starting to come together as well. We end up with 5 commits here after the Memphis game. Josh Ray, Carl Simon, Michael Stewart, Marshall Gardner, and Brad Workman have all decided to continue their athletic careers at Earlham College. You absolutely love to see it. Not to mention that we do finally get some respect from the polls. We are now in the top 25. We're coming in ranked number 24 in the nation. So with that being said, next episode we are going to continue, putting the nation on notice. We go on the road, play against the SMU Mustangs, who've been a little down bad. 0-4 so far this season. They only have a C offense. I would love the opportunity to tear these guys apart, but man, I'm going to save that for next episode. In the meantime, though, if you're enjoying the content here on this channel, by the way, I need you guys to do me a favor. Smash that like button for me, hit me up down in the comments, and if you're brand new as well, encourage you to smash that subscribe button as well. Help grow the community we got going on here. But with that being said, this is John J. Gaming on the mic signing off, but I'm hoping you're all out there having a wonderful day. Take care, everybody.